Good evening, and welcome to the spooky season. This is Liprandi, and allow me to introduce you Tales from the Cryptkeeper, the action figures made by Ace Novelty Toys in 1993. First of all, if you haven't done it yet, please subscribe to our channel clicking on the blue button Liprandi down here. You will see a lot of beautiful toys from the past. Tonight's tale begins in 1950, when publisher and editor of EC Comics decided to explore the horror genre in their title Crime Patrol. So in Crime Patrol issue number 15, they publish a horror story titled Return from the Grave, introducing a creepy Cryptkeeper as the host. Issue after issue, more horror stories took place of the crime ones, and by the time issue number 20 came out, the title was changed from Crime Patrol to Tales from the Crypt. The same publisher also started two sister titles, Vault of Horror and Haunt of Fear, each with a different host. In 1955, the Comic Book Authority cancelled the titles, but several reprints were published in the following decades and started inspiring different media. In 1972, Amicus Production released the movie Tales from the Crypt, and the following year the same production also released Vault of Horror. But it wasn't until 1989 that the Cryptkeeper became a TV host and a celebrity. A TV show titled Tales from the Crypt was produced from 1989 to 1996, a series of short horror movies from famous directors and starring Hollywood celebrities. As the show grew in popularity, someone thought that it was time to give younger audiences a kid-friendly version of the show, and the animated series Tales from the Cryptkeeper was produced in 1993. In 1994, a second season was made, and a third and last one came out only in 1999. In each episode of the first season, the Cryptkeeper told kids a light horror story with a lesson. In the second season, the Cryptkeeper had two rivals, which were hosts of the other two EC Comics titles, the Vault Keeper and the Old Witch, while in the third season the Cryptkeeper actually took part in the stories. The license to make toys for Tales from the Cryptkeeper went to an American toy company called Ace Novelty Toys, a lesser-known company which in the 1990s made a few lines of action figures, each with a unique and different style. For this title, Ace Novelty made a board game, a few different toys, a couple of talking dolls of the Cryptkeeper himself, and a line of 8 action figures. Here is a carded one, so we can take a look at the graphics on the card. While the Cryptkeeper is shown here on the card exactly as he was in the animated TV show, we will see that the action figure is clearly inspired by the puppet used in the live-action show. And on the back we have a checklist of all the different characters included in the line, instructions for the gimmick, and a small bio with height, weight, special features, and a short description. The Cryptkeeper. From deep in his underground lair, this spookish ghoul regales the audience with his sense of humor as he presents the tale of the week. He will shock you and scare you. He will make you laugh and leave you with a little something to think about. The figure is roughly in the 5 inches scale, and while the body looks horrible, the face is actually neat, and as we have said earlier, it looks like the puppet from the live-action TV show. In the plastic we have some intentional, very little spots to give you an idea of this rotting flesh. A pearlish white for the hair and just a few paint applications, but we wouldn't need any more. We can rotate the figure's head, move the arms up and down, but they are connected because of the gimmick, and we can move the legs forwards and backwards. As we move this lever on the back up and down, the keeper makes gestures with hands and head to present us the new story wolf. The Fifi lives in a dog house just outside the Cryptkeeper's abode. Fifi's not a poodle, she's not even a dog. Fifi's a full-fledged werewolf. With razor-sharp fangs and claws that can slice stone, she ranks right up there as one of the world's most effective guard monsters. The figure is again about 5 inches tall, with movable arms and legs and tail. We've got painted trousers and also some nice painted details in her mouth. We can see the tongue and the fangs, and I like these yellow and red eyes. There is a lever on her back, and when we push it down, her head rises up, looking at the moon, and then comes down quickly to bite her prey. The mummy. Encased within his gold-plated sarcophagus, the mummy slumbers deep beneath the smoothing blanket of the Egyptian's nets. When disturbed, he rises, dripping with weather wrappings, to seek vengeance on greedy archaeologists. This terrifying-looking mummy is wrapped in old and dirty bandages. We can move his legs, and also the arms can move, but they are connected due to the gimmick, while we have no movement for his head. Again, we have a lever on his back, and when we push it down, the mummy's arms raise as to reach the prey, and the eyes turn red. There are no springs and no LEDs or batteries, just a red panel showing up behind the orbits. Simple but effective. The vampire. The vampire searches for his next victim in the dark of the night. He is a real VIP in the world of the crypt. Or is that real RIP? The vampire wears a blue suit and a very elegant purple cloth cape. We can only move his legs forwards and backwards, but at least he's got a very funny gimmick. There is once more a lever on his back, and when we push it down, he raises the arms, spreading the cape, and we can see his fangs come down in his mouth. Oh, that's terrifying. The Frankenstein searches the night for better parts for his pieced-together body. Only the screams of his victims can be heard in the still of the night. This Frankenstein's monster doesn't look anything like the creature we have known and remembered since 1931 from the movie Frankenstein starring Boris Karloff. But of course, that one wasn't the way the creature was described in the original novel. This one has got a grey skin. I like this green on his lips, and I also like all the stitches on his arms and neck. The figure can rotate his head, move the arms forwards and backwards, and move the legs forwards and backwards. And since he is looking for better parts for his body, he is able to swap them. We can remove arms, head and legs and swap them if we want. Oh, that's even uglier than before. The zombie. Being in a constant trance-like state, he can be made to do anything requested of him by the Cryptkeeper. He roams through the Cryptkeeper's vault of terror, searching for his friends. I sincerely appreciate the way they have preserved one of the main characteristics of zombies, which has been forgotten, I think, in the way we think of zombies today. And it is the fact that they can be ordered to do anything. They are slaves. There isn't much detail, but I like the way he looks. Sadly, he's not able to stand on his own. We can rotate the zombie's head, move the arms forwards and backwards, and move the legs forwards and backwards. And of course, he is a walking corpse. His body is literally falling apart. And there is more. His rotten skin glows in the dark. The gargoyle. The grotesque gargoyle rests on the gateway eaves of the Cryptkeeper's house, waiting to carry off any unwanted visitors, which are never to be seen or heard of again. He is the protector of the crypt. The gargoyle is smaller than the other characters, and I truly love the way he looks. We can move the gargoyle's arms forwards and backwards, and we can rotate his legs. But there is a gimmick, of course, and we can activate it by pushing this button on his back. The gargoyle looks up and flaps his wings in the dark of the night. The Cryptkeeper. You can turn off the lights and you can lock the doors. The Cryptkeeper is coming for you. He will take you on a journey through his outrageous world. This is the only character that appears twice in the toy line, and instead of an elegant suit, this time he is wearing a very old and worn tunic. The head is the same as in the other figure, but in a different color, while all the rest of the body is totally different. We can move the Cryptkeeper's legs forwards and backwards, although the tunic hinders the articulation, and we can look at his disgusting bare feet. We can also move the arms, but they are connected to the head by the gimmick, which is the same as in the other version of this character. By pushing this lever on the back up and down, he will make gestures with arms and head as if he was telling us a story. And this is it, only these 8 figures were made for this line. Ace Novelty also planned and made prototypes for some small playsets which would have been awesome but sadly never saw the light. It was a series of torture devices with victims, and I guess this is the reason why they were never made. It is just a set of very simple action figures. Of course they are not well sculpted or well made, but overall I love them. They are horror creatures, they are creepy, they've got fun gimmicks. I like the one that glows in the dark, I love the gargoyle, the mummy, they are just awesome. And if you, like me, are a fan of horror, you just can't miss on these figures. And now, if you liked this video, please help our channel by clicking on the like button, sharing the video and subscribing to our channel. Ciao!